much, Elon. You know.
Thank you. And it's also
What in the absolute cult meeting is this? Why are they all wearing red ties in a very similar fashion? What is this? This is a clown show. All right, let's waste no time. Let's jump in with this clip of Trump being confronted during his cabinet meeting. This brave journalist is like, dude, you are lying about the stock market on a monthly basis. It kind of reminds me of this confrontation 4 years back. Remember this one?
President, after 3.5 years, do you regret at all the lying you've done to the American people?
All the what?
All the lying, all the dishonesties.
That who has done?
You have done. Tens of thousands.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask about the
Do you guys remember that? A few years ago, that went viral. We had another moment like this. Remember, Trump promised he would lower prices on day one. He's taken credit for Biden's economy over the last 4 years. Now that he's nuked the economy, he's trying to divert responsibility away to everybody else. It's actually maniacal. It's insane. It's diabolical. Watch this.
And then after you were elected, you said the stock market highs were a reflection of how well the transition's going and the American people's confidence in your incoming administration. Now, the stock market's not doing so well, and you're saying that's the Biden stock market, yet you are the president. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I'm not taking credit or discredit for the stock market.
He's not taking credit or discredit for the stock market. There's more to the clip, but what a shameless little lying snake. This says right here, on January 29th of 2024, Donald Trump tweeted out while Biden was president, "This is the Trump stock market because my polls against Biden are so good that investors are projecting that I will win, and that will drive the market up." He then continued to say that for months and months and months until his tariff plan tanked the market, and then he said, if we go on to the next slide, "This is the Biden stock market, not Trump's." This was today, this morning. It's kind of funny, almost exactly a year apart. "This is the Biden stock market, not Trump's. I didn't take over until January 20th. Tariffs will start kicking in soon." What a delusional little lying snake. This is our president, and there's more. Watch.
I'm just saying that we inherited a mess, both at the borders. You could look at every single one of the people here, and no matter who it is, they're doing better, and they are far superior to what took place for 4 years before us.
Really? We should look at every single person there. We have Pete Hegseth, who is probably drunk half of the time and adding people to random group chats like his brother and his mother for zero reason. Or we could look at RFK Jr., who is constantly lying and saying that autistic Americans, for some reason, will never write a poem or pay taxes. I mean, have you guys seen this clip? It's incredibly offensive.
These are kids who, many of them were fully functional and regressed because of some environmental exposure into autism when they're 2 years old. And these are kids who will never pay taxes, they'll never hold a job, they'll never play baseball, they'll never write a poem, they'll never go out on a date. Many of them will never use a toilet unassisted.
I love that our health secretary doesn't even know what autism is, or that there's a spectrum of autism. Either he thinks that autism is like cerebral palsy or something, or this dude thinks that every autistic person is on the extreme end of the spectrum. I've gone to school with many, and I've grown up with many, many autistic people who are highly functional, incredibly brilliant people who do pay taxes. I mean, don't they always say Elon Musk didn't actually do a C. Kyle because he's autistic? That's literally their argument, yet, never mind.
When you look at prisoners being allowed to come into our country at will, just at will, people from mental institutions, gang members, drug dealers, when you look at that, what they've done to our country, and also having to do with finance, look at what happened with inflation. We had the worst inflation.
You know what's hilarious? As Trump is talking, the Dow is just dropping over on the right. Fox News puts on the Dow watch and it's dropping as Trump is speaking. We need to continue to hold Trump accountable. When I make these videos and I debunk Trump's lies, I know sometimes it feels like an uphill battle because there are so many of them, but I think it's important that we control the narrative. So make sure you drop a like and let's continue with this clip.
Yes, would be fine, yes.
Secretary Rubio, can I ask you a question? You brought up El Salvador in your remarks. Have you been in touch with El Salvador about returning Abrego Garcia? Has a formal request from this administration been made?
Well, I would never tell you that. And you know who else I'll never tell? A judge. Because the conduct of our foreign policy belongs to the President of the United States and the executive branch, not some judge. So we will conduct foreign policy appropriately if we need to, but I'll never discuss it.
This dude doesn't know how the government works. Immigration judges are a part of the executive branch. When Marco Rubio makes the argument that the executive branch has the complete control over foreign policy, number one, that's not exactly true. But even if we did grant that, immigration judges, like the same one who granted the withholding order of removal, he's a part of the executive branch. I don't get what Marco Rubio is saying here, other than he's making a very, very fallacious legal argument. Here's Elon Musk admitting that he failed hardcore. They repeatedly promised that they were gonna save $2 trillion by cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. Then they changed it to $1 trillion. They never touched the military or anything. They only did a few months sprint where they collected a bunch of data in a terrifying way, all to spend more on this project than they saved. I mean, the Trump admin has already increased the deficit by over $250 billion, and look at what Elon Musk is gloating about.
He's done an incredible job. $150 billion. Think of that.
Yeah. It's 160 now.
Yeah, 160.
Counting.
They said, oh, it could have been more. And a lot of He's done an incredible job. $150 billion. Think of that.
Yeah. It's 160 now.
Yeah, 160.
Counting.
They said, oh, it could have been more. And a lot of stuff is being worked on. That number could be doubled and even tripled. A lot of things are being worked on that we don't count yet because it's not quite there. But you've done a fantastic job, and we appreciate it very much, Elon. You know.
Thank you. And it's also
What in the absolute cult meeting is this? Why are they all wearing red ties in a very similar fashion? What is this? This is a clown show. This genuinely feels like a Jim Jones cult meeting, and Elon Musk is wearing 2 hats in the cabinet meeting. Dude, it's such a clown show. Look at this. And then Trump makes a joke about it.
Great job, Kelly. Thank you very much. Elon, I love the double hat, by the way. He's the only one that can do that. Get away with it.
well, Mr. President, they say I wear a lot of hats.
The hat says Gulf of America. Oh, he made a joke that he wears a lot of hats. You know he thought of that in the shower like 4 days ago and could not wait to whip that out at the cabinet meeting.
Hats. Even my hat.
And everyone has to laugh because he's the richest man in the world. Sorry, I'm such a hater, but I think he deserves it. Don't let this distract you from the fact that Elon Musk way overpromised to consolidate power and then underdelivered, way underdelivered. I mean, this dude said he would cut $2 trillion, then he backpedaled to $1 trillion, then he backpedaled even further and said maybe we'll do $250 billion. Then that $250 billion was cut down to what they claim to be $150 billion, but here's a cherry on top, and please remember this part. That $150 billion ledger that they released is riddled with mistake after mistake after mistake of contracts that already came to completion, of numbers that were complete errors. They put an $8 billion savings when it was actually $8 million, and that $8 million was a contract that expired in 2019. It's all absolute BS, and that's what happens when you treat it like a college project with 19-year-olds all banding together. But I digress. I'm going to leave it at that. This is a clown show. If you agree, drop a like, subscribe. I have some really good MAGA debate content coming out soon because of the rally that I was at. And yeah, they're all delusional. They think that Trump has had an A+ presidency, that he's been killing it, when I could not disagree more. But we are building a killer movement. We're building a killer resistance. So thank you all. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.